On page Kuflamet Vov, a little bit below the half a page, so we concluded this discussion by saying that not only, so the difference between Nakuda sphere and parts, in Toyo it's sphere, which is Iskalus Pamachas Miyud and Yud Miyud, and in Tikkun that's called sphere, and Tikkun is made of parts of which is more than that. Which means each sphere is really interacting and it's working together with the other spheres. The last thing you said was not only each sphere, but the whole sphere Adam, the whole sphere, 10 spheres together create a new sphere. Now we're going to start discussing it with the Moshe. Being you know that Moshe ben Nefesh. He starts the whole thing with the Moshe of Nefesh. Yes, you do a Nefesh Elohim ba'atzmo use rak etzem pashat bli tzachus kol. We spoke about it various times. That Chassidus understand. Chassidus brings from earlier sources that the Nefesh is an entity which is etzem pashat bli tzachus kol. It's a pure, abstract type of being which has no division. It's pure type of life being. What means B'Yischatus? And Shelo Yitor B'Tiyur Yakeichel B'Yischatus Nikeres. The nefesh itself, the way it is in its full natural state, it doesn't have any division of keiches. Doesn't have the essence of the nefesh, the way the nefesh exists in an essential state, does not have these individual types of attributes like intellect and emotion, like ava. Again, the nefesh itself is this essential, pure, and abstract, plain type of essence. Fact that in reality we see that these type of attributes are developed from the nefesh, and therefore they're really not an expression of the essence of the nefesh. Only an extension of its ray. K'moi, for example, Metzius Kayach is Hakmash Kayach HaSeichel, the fact that the Kayach HaSeichel has the ability to come up with original ideas. It's only an external expression of the nefesh. See, in the Keter, there's a lashon Yadua shanefesh ein seichel. Over here it says more shekach seichel ein atzes nefesh. The ability of intellectual analysis is not the pure essence of the nefesh. Only a radiance. That's what I told somebody. Translate our radiance. It's a radiance of the nefesh. And more specifically, the intellect has three specific, detailed attributes. We all speak always about the Gimel Chabad. I know Tchula means, but it means the Chachma means it does. Also, this ha'ora, this radiance of the nefesh expands in our ability to see that we have in our eye, movement of the head, walking the foot, this kaychas of ear and nur hiluch the more external type of kaychas. But they all come obviously from the radiance of the nefesh. Otherwise, a person wouldn't be able to do it. This nefesh, this radiance, this expression, the light of the nefesh, is divisible, is divided into various parts, which are the individual, detailed koiches. So within the koiches, the divisions, divided and the separated type of levels. So within the koiches, some koiches express a deeper level of the nefesh, and some express a more external type of nefesh. For example, the intellectual capacity to come up with new ideas, to analyze, contains a deeper and more inner type of the soul, of the expression of the soul, than the radiance of the soul, the way it is in the Kayharia, or B'midas. This thing that Sariya and Midas go together here. Basically, what he's saying here is there's hierarchy. Some of the Kayhas, a nefesh expressed higher, a deeper, and more internal part of the nefesh. Some expressed more external part. As a result of that, the the intellectual capacity of the person is united with the nefesh more than the rest of the koyches. To such an extent that nefesh nika nefesh amaskelis. The nefesh says by no, also says by nefesh chai, but we find in other sources, not in Chazal, but in the Foshim, they use the title when they describe the nefesh. They call it nefesh hamaskelis. The what do you call it? The intellectual soul. The soul is like a way above seichel, like we just said. Soul itself is above seichel. They call it Ramnika Kain al Shemes Avshon Zachet Seichel. Because the seichel is so united so strongly with the nefesh, and seichel expresses such a deep place in the nefesh. This is why the nefesh is called nefesh hamaskelis. Because how do we, when we look, we see the nefesh, we see the nefesh through the seichel. Seichel is the most, almost the most authentic, maybe, expression of the etzem nefesh. What you call it? I know. So okay, so we described the way it works in the koyches hanefesh. So that's a general description, but it goes into more details. Within these areas of the nefesh, the way they express themselves in the koyches hanefesh, there's a lot of chilukim madreges, various levels and the divisions. All these madreges exist within the area of the nefesh. Now, when the nefesh, when the aura of the nefesh, when the radiance of the nefesh reaches and is invested in the limbs of the body, in the area of Oz mishtash ma'akeches elu me'elu. So the keches are mishtash elu me'elu. They, I don't know what to say. Mishtash, they evolve. They use the word evolve. They evolve one from the other. Shma'akeches apnim mishtash and nimshach ha'er b'keches ha'etzenim. The earth from the keches ha'etzenim comes, is evolves and is grown from the pnimi. Mislap she'em is zeh b'zeh. Sha'keches ha'etzenim ma'abishim z'keches ha'pnimi. The lower keches, including the higher keches. The three meichel Chabad, which is part of the nefesh, part of the oras nefesh, the three intellectual attributes, Chochma, Bina, and Das, slapshem b'meichel, shen gimel chador v'keim al gimel keches anal. They actually invested in the physical body. Three parts of the brain, the physical brain, that has three chambers. The actual brain has three chambers. There's a chamber in the brain which is a keli, a vessel, a receptacle for the koach hachma. One is koach habina, koach hadas. Koach hachma u koach pnimi yoisa kanayda. So within Chabad, within the inner gufa, the koach hachma, that's the more inner koach. Uma hachma nimshal koach habina, shaos hachma nimshal bina. So that's the way it operates. The chachma is run to bina. Uma chachma bina nimshal hadas. Uma gimel moichin elo. Then he says another point. That's the way it is. First the three madrigas in the Gilead and Nefesh, which are called the Chabad, they reach the three chambers of the physical brain in the head. And the next step is the three senses of seeing and hearing and talking. They are really an expression of the three madrigas, Chachma, Bina, V'das. That we always know that is Chachma, because it's seeing. It's like Chachma, the way Chachma perceives the intellectual experience. It's like you see it, it's obvious, it's clear. Shmiya Bina, the Koach Shmiya, the ability to listen, to hear, that is an expression of Bina because it's similar to Bina. You hear, you decipher what it means, so that's similar to Bina. And V'dibo midas. So this is actually not such a common, statement of Siddur, but have to be learned. Remember earlier in my morning in this Hamshach, there's a long arichas have the in and dibo, this halkus of dibos, it comes from das. There's a pasuk to prove it. What was the pasuk? Mipiv das. The das is connected to dibo. So these three more physical senses, because on Chabad is in the brain, it's stuck in the physical brain, but the experience is still a sort of more abstract spiritual experience of analytics. You analyze the brain stuff, but then it's a step down, something which is related to the actual physical world. You see, you hear, you talk. So these are the lower. Then there's even lower, he says. Then when they go low, so these three Riyashmir Dibo is in the face. Then there's low, then it descends low within the body. That expresses in three. I'll call it what we'll call it. Three physical tubes. What are the connovation vedi, which is the three parts of the body. Connovation vedi, which means the part, the windpipe, the food pipe, and the blood vessels. Another interesting division. That they can get so corn is the same part, that's what it means. Corn is,
sorry, what's the reading again?
The blood vessels.
blood. Okay.
Blood.
Veins, no?
Veins. Okay, veins. So the male we have here three. One is the ear and food and blood. So these are the connected us. It's Veshel Chabad. Neither Gimel Kavin Eil, while the other Nimshach Ma'amaycha Alev, which not to see the Bamas Fila Kakel Yak. Oh, now it describes how it works. It says in Siddur over there, like there, Kon Nimshach Ma'amaycha Chachma. Kon, which is the ear, where the ear comes from, that's Nimshach Chachma. Reading Ma'achabin, the blood, like you said, the veins, that's Ma'achabin. Veishet HaMamutza Kol Shnei. Veishet is the food pipe. That is the one that's a combination of both, similar to das and life. Because of its subterranean, the Masani, Masaj Hashem Echad Biur. So he brings a source for this division in the terrain soft. Then there's another step lower than that. Beschalken is Yesef. The eine wie hat Yamin, wie hat Smile. So these two madrigas of Chacham being reached the Yad Yamin and Yad Smile, the hands, right and left hand. Shemay Makach Beschalken Bakshama Yesef. And that state, the Kechas HaNefesh are divided even more Akshama. Hakab is Gash with Chachas Yesef, but regularly in Regos Chacham. Kol Kach Mischalken Potim, the division and the vision and breakdown, the details, goes that far. The body has, like it says in the sources, there's 248 limbs and 365 veins. It's really, there's really 316 types of kaiches. Because it's actually back now. All this point is made in tiny back now. Each is low, one is lower than the other. They gave us a very detailed and long description the way the nefesh operates within the body. It starts something extremely abstract, etzem pashut. Eventually, the Ha'os HaNefesh reaches the body in a way that's broken down and divided into 613 levels. Now going back, now it's going to describe what it means. It's not only that they have 613 separate paths. It's not that. It's Malbishim says that they are interconnected. One is invested in the other, one is connected to the other. So how does it work? He says, you know, so start with the way that Indian, this concept of Mishtalshim we'll first explain it the way it expresses in the lowest. In the Kaychas Chitzeni, we see that how Shehein, what are the Kaychas Chitzeni, what are the most external Kaychas? The radiance of the soul does not shine there in such a strong way. The male, saying even in the most external Chitzeni, there's also an interaction with Kaychas Pnim. Malbishim is but he brings a marshal. The most external Kayach, the way he describes it, the Al-Kaponim is the Kayach HaMaisa Shmiyah, the ability of the hand to act, to make an external act. That we learned actually earlier in the Hemshach Long Arifus. Kayach HaZrika, there wasn't this Hemshach, it was really in the Hemshach Rosh Hashanah. In the Hemshach Rosh Hashanah, I think it was in the last mime of Hemshach Rosh Hashanah, there's a whole thing about Kayach HaZrik. He was talking about the difference Kayach HaTzir and Kayach HaZrik. Kerech HaZrika is the most external within Ma'aseh Guf. So even Kerech HaZrika, there's also various levels. Throwing of itself, the fact that you cause what's throwing it. Throwing is your hand moves an object that should be thrown away. So that can happen a few ways. A person can, in his sleep, can also throw something. Unintentionally, the person sleeps, he turns around, and there's something on his bed, so he throws it off his bed, let's say. It's something totally unintentional. There's no intention. He doesn't want to throw something to that particular place. When he's awake, when a person is awake and he throws with his hand, so it's intentional. He has a specific goal, specific location where he wants to throw that object. However, I don't think about the word heaven before. If a person throws a rock, he wants the rocks to reach a specific point. So that's much more intentional. As Rika Zoo, so what happens here? The act of throwing, the way it is when he's awake, he's intentionally throwing his rock to a particular place, should hit a particular location. The Zrika is a chitzen, it's very external. Compared to the throwing that happens when he's asleep, so the throwing when he does, when he's intentional, when he's awake, it's considered pnimis, לגבי חיצונית. והפנימי שבזהו, מה שמסתלבט בזה, המחשב והרצון. What is the pnimis? The pnimis means that there's his machshava, his ratzon, his interest is expressed directly through his throwing when he is awake. So that's the pnimis. From Meleches Atzil, then there's a higher level. Meleches Atzil, the person is drawing, he's an artist, he draws a picture, he draws he does something. Also, when he draws a letter or image, that there's an intention there. Not only there's also, in addition to machshava that it's intentional, there's also, it's not like throwing a rock. Actually, he's in a mime over there in the first Emshach, he said over there, the throwing a rock is not, seichel is not melubish. If you remember, you both have arrived from a pasuk. It says, Vayishmoel vayir oevet kashos. Shmuel's specialty was that he used to shoot arrows, which is the same concept as throwing a rock. And he said over there in the mime, it can't be involved in seichel, because the Shmuel says, since it's a per adam, there's no seichel involved. So from that, he bought a raya that throwing, that shooting an arrow, any throwing a rock, even if it's done, like in the most common experience that we have, a person plays a ball. So he wants the ball should reach a certain place. He said that's not seichel. That's only maratz. Here, but Bashenkin seal, this is actually the difference. He said over there between seal and zrika. Seal, not only the rotten is involved, there's also seichel. In order for the person to be able to, the artist, to be able to draw a picture which really expresses the object that he wants to draw. He wants to draw a picture of a person that should look like the person, etc. So in order to achieve that, he has to involve his seichel, intellect also be part of it. יש מסתלבט בשכל, איך לצייר? והוא שמחיצוניוס כרך השכל, הנקרא שכל המעשי, מסתלבט במלאכת הציור גם במלאכת הציור. That the seichel המעשי, that talent, that intellectual talent of being able to draw is expressed and is included in the actual koyach mice of his hand that draws. Not just seal. Seal is the most, yes, the best illustration. But anything we do with our hands that requires our mind to be involved, it's also an expression of sech. But also, so what do we have? So we have there's the koyach hatzir. But he goes back to tzir. So when the person draws a picture, or let's say a little closer to us, the person is a safe, and he draws letters. So he has to draw the letters in a specific shape. What happens there? First of all, there's the rotzen b'chlasho is not tzir. There is the interest that the person has, that he wants, that he's interested in drawing. Then his mind. I don't know what an analysis applies here. Maybe it's another expression of the intellect. His mind comes up with ideas how to draw. So we see a whole process here. There's the rotzen and the seichel, and the rotzen and the seichel together are expressed in the tzir, in the actual drawing. What do we see? Melechas tzir is also koyach hamayis, which like we said earlier, koyach hamayis is the most external koyach. So it's way deeper and more. It's a deeper expression of the nefesh than zuik. In Zrika, seichel is not part of it. In the tzir, the seichel is part. It's mopnim. Ubeksiva. In addition to that, he says there's something even more. Another example with the way it's all a way to express the example that he said in the middle of the page. Malbishim zeh. The koyches are invested and included one into the other. So what he said, another example, Biksiva, the person writes an idea, he writes down a theory, or he has a chiddush, he wants to write down in Torah. What happens? Now, in addition to what we just described, the way it works in tzir, there's more to that. In other words, when you write down let's say, or any an idea, an intellectual idea, it's in addition to the fact that you have to be interested. And the seichel had to write the letters, had to write the words. In addition to that, there's also seichel there's also an intellectual concept that's expressed in the writing. Oh, he says, like I said before, it's not only the seichel that is expressed in the shape of the letters, also the idea that's expressed in the words. That seichel is melubash, is invested in the koyach b'yad. In the movement of the hand, when you write it vasech. Now, so there's a famous chassidus, the famous mashal chassidus, the mashal maiver nislapshus. The chassidus always talks the way a likus is expressed in this world can be with the maiver nislapshus. Maiver means that this is only a conduit; it's not transformed. And the slapshus means that it's transformed. And the marshal this usually brings, and the maiva is that the person writes down that his hand at vasech. So the fingers don't really understand the vasech. The fingers are just move the pen and paper. They don't understand, or the keyboard, whatever it is. So they don't understand. Their mind, the seichel goes through them, but it doesn't change them. So that's usually, it's called the mind. Mashenk is the mind actually changes. And you talk to someone and he's convinced that it's lapsed. So that's contradicts what we just said. That's melubash. Just said that seichel is melubash. But sometimes Chassidus uses the tzvah sayad as an example of derech mayr. That's what he says. He doesn't develop the answer, but the pshat is it's not the same. It's not a slap. In other words, the slap just go for can mean a few. The concept of slapshus can be described in a few ways. So there is this slapshus that actually, like let's say that the emotions in the heart actually feels the emotion. That's really slapshus. In the hand, when the hand writes down the idea, the hand doesn't feel anything. The fingers don't really understand what happened here. So in that way, it's like a mile. But it's not sheni. It's still islapshus means that the dvar seichel has to go through the hand. The hands have to capture what you want to express and write down the words that you want to say. So okay, he doesn't explain it specifically. I think it's understood more or less. So what does he say? Okay, so until now we described the person writes. So we have the ratzon, we have the seichel, right? He writes an idea. What happens if what he writes is not just seichel? So there's also no, he writes a letter that expresses an emotion of love or rebuke. The statement he makes has an intellectual component there because he explains why he loves or how he loves or why he rebukes. So what will happen here? So there's another part of the nefesh that's being communicated through the writing, not only the words and seichel, midas also. יש נסף סמיד, בסייכם מסלוב השסייכל, גם ברץ, מה שראה אצלו והשכל יסתקסף. כל זה מלובש והשכל והמחשוב, רוצה שבעצם נקסיב, וכך התנוי שביד. So he described in a very intricate way the way koyach hamayis, which is like the external part of the person, koyach hamayis shebiyad, it contains with it a lot of layers. There's a layer of Hotze and Seichel and Mitzvah. Whole in Islapshus, what does Islapshus mean here? When you say that the higher level is mislabish and the lower level really means that the higher koyach works through and controls the lower koyach. For example, in the first marshal, when you throw something intentionally, so the act of throwing has to have within it the intent, machshava v'kavanah. You're not gonna hit your target. Your ball is not gonna flow forward where you want it to go. Even more so in things like seal, like drawing, seal and writing, their action, the execution is not going to be as intended, as needed without the involvement of machshavot. So the koyach is not only the machshava v'rotzen, it's also meichen amidas kovev and amidas v'sefer. Kach hier oisis, and she'oisis v'tzoruk v'inin amidas v'sefer. In other words, the words that you're going to write are going to express your state, your level of understanding, and your level of feeling. So so what do we see from all this? The inner deeper koiches, agam shem behelim, so when we look at the face of it, we see a person riding or throwing a ball or drawing a picture. So what we see is only the attribute of action. The inner koiches, they're the ones who are in control. The external koiches are like, but they're not a tuffle bottle. They're insignificant. They're just a conduit to express the koiches pnim. Say the Shabbos. So how does it all work? He says that it's very orderly. The koach hamayis is malbish of in clothes. The koach hamachshavos, the intent that it was in the mais. Machshava is amidas, and the machshava is the melubush to the midas. Amidas and seichel, so the efshar is gal seichel beotzim, which goes makom lach. Seichel can only be as a result of thoughts. We learn barichas in the emshach. Very long arichas in the Zohar. Yeah. Long arichas to express the concept as seichel cannot be without thoughts. A korba even a naal sham lubish amanig is a malbish but latachal lubish. And all this is in a way that the higher level controls the lower one. The lower level is bottle to the higher. Okay, now it's finish with the marshal Maisa Shabiyad. It's going to go a little bit also to the Koyach Shabareg. Koyach Yitzach Hitzayni. Yitzach Shabareg is even more Hitzayni than the Koyach HaMais. Why? Okay, the person's control. Generally speaking, the foot is less involved in the hand. So in the foot is only koyach ha'hiluf. So it's a lower level than the koyach ha'mais. Even there is a slavish machshava. He has to know where you're walking. First of all, you have to make sure you don't hit the wall, you don't hit, and also you have to know where you want to go. So the machshava tells you where to go. First of all, the actual thing that you want to walk, that's also a question of thoughts. It's in Hilch Shabaregel, there's also sometimes an involvement of the intellect. The dance, for example, and there's a specific type of talent of some kind of intellectual investment that's involved there. Okay. So he didn't go into more details on Regel. There's Rikud, the straight from Seichel. We can read on our own. There's also Midas. Sometimes the dancing, not sometimes. A person can dance as a professional dancer. So then his mind tells him how to dance properly. Then you have the person who's very excited emotionally. So the dance expresses an emotion. Just like I said earlier, but again, to see. All these descriptions relate only to Olam Mispashet Nefesh. The Etzem Nefesh itself, so we described till now quite elaborately how the koiches interact with each other. The law, each koyach is nimshach, mislabish into the other one, and affects him and controls him. It says, going back to the nefesh itself, she'ein bat koyach klal kanal. Nefesh itself, the pure etzem and nefesh, the essence of the nefesh, does not have any definition and any description. Shegam HaKoyach Meshkunim b'nefesh now introduces us to something which it didn't even mention before. The start of the discussion just said that etzem and nefesh is etzem pashut, and the horas and nefesh is the madrigas. Now introduces another concept which we actually learned a lot before, but in this discussion he didn't bring it. The first time he brings it in. Koyach Meshkunim b'nefesh. The nefesh has the koyach they contained there. In the koyches, the way they are within the nefesh itself, they don't exist as a recognizable separate being. But mele ain't shy when in islapshas below. So in that level, the concept of islapshas, one koyach should be melubash, another koyach doesn't exist with the weights and acts of the nefesh. Ki'im, ba'oras nefesh, only in the lower level, the radiance, the expression, ray of the soul, and it's invested and it's included in the limbs of the body, then it turns into actual, tangible attributes that are divisible, divided. Like we just said, there's inner koyches and external koyches. And the pnimim and the chitzonim, the inner koyches control the external koyches, and the lower koyches. Again, that's a common lesson we have all the time. Malbishim, they include them. In other words, they give him function and definition. But at the same time, they're totally controlled by them. That's significant. So when we look at the big picture, Kesha parts of Echad, there's a one big what we call parts, we call it face. It's not really, it's more than face. It's one general shape. So in the end result is that we have this intricate, complicated function of a body that contains a lot of various attributes, and they all work together as in various expressions. That's how they describe. Spend a whole page. Started in Kaf Lamed Vov, now in Kaf Lamed Ches. Spend a whole page describing how the Nefesh Adam operates in a way that there's the essence of the Nefesh. When the Oras and Nefesh reaches the body, the Koyches, they're all divided and separated. They all work. They interact with each other. They complement each other. They combine with each other. This is a description the way the nefesh and guf operate. Because all this is really a mashal. The way we bring it here is a mashal to explain the way the essence feels that Atzilus operate. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow.
Shukriya. I think David, the word for